Hello and welcome to Co-ople Mode, a couple's opinion on gaming. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And welcome back from our horrible murder spree gone wrong. And Hitman.
It's not really supposed to be a murder spree, is it?
No, not generally. I think you get docked points for killing people that aren't related. Yeah.
Oh.
If you keep track of that sort of thing. It's not like they stop you from doing what you're doing.
No.
And from the sweet frozen tundras and jungles of Monster Hunter World. Nice revisit.
Woo.
Oh, you think you're ready for something new? You think you feel up for it?
Yeah, something new sounds kind of nice. Although, you know what sounds better?
Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter Rise. Master rank. That sounds the best.
So desperate. You're thirsty for it.
I am. God, I need more hours in the day.
Yeah, I know. I relate to that feeling. So, I don't think I played this in front of you at all, so you won't have any idea. I will give you one.
Give me a hint.
I'll give you a hint. Excuse me.
Jeez.
The type of game that it is labeled is an action-adventure turn-based strategy game. And that is a mouthful that just set her mouth agape.
Action-adventure turn-based strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so specific and vague all at the same time because that could be almost anything. Action adventure, turn-based strategy game.
I think focused on the strategy game part.
Is it a game that I'm aware of?
Yes. I mean, it's a game we have in this house, and a physical copy of it as well.
I don't know. At least it's not the new Gollum game. I'm happy about that.
Speaking about new announcements, anybody who watched the Nintendo announcement, they recently released. They're going to release Super Mario RPG, a remastered version of it. And I am so flippin' excited.
Yeah, you made me play that. Now they're remastering.
I know. Part of me is like, man, I should have. If I knew this was coming, I would have saved it for this moment.
No, I'm glad you didn't, though. I'm glad I got to play the original like it is because it's a nostalgia point for you. And
yes,
it's really fun, and it makes me more excited that they are remaking it because I did enjoy that one. I mean, it's not my favorite.
And they kept the cute art style on it. Like, it looks really good.
It is very cute looking. I'm excited about it.
Okay, Nintendo, I'll play Super Mario RPG for the 7th time and beat it again, I guess. But to celebrate my excitement for Mario, some new Mario games in the works, you are going to be playing.
No, it's the Mario+Rabbids
plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hopes, the newest one.
Shit.
Yep. Oh shit. Now you say that.
No, it's like the Final Fantasy with the thing and the. Oh.
What?
Isn't it? My mind has gone blank out of panic.
No. Super Mario RPG is like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, isn't the Rabbids one like that too?
No.
Oh, good.
No. This is more of a tactics game, which there is a Final Fantasy
Tactics. You're lying to
tactics.
me. Don't you have a team and it's turn-based and you
move around a battlefield. It's not necessarily slow. It's more it's more like Heroes of Might and Magic. That's not boring, is it?
You say things
That's
like
a grid.
that.
That is a action strategy turn-based strategy game. It is a turn-based strategy game. We're going to argue about this right now.
Mario and Rabbids to Heroes of Might and Magic. That's
Actually, I absolutely can because they're both developed and published by Ubisoft. Suck it.
Lots of people make lots of games. Mega Man is not the same thing as Monster Hunter. I mean, you settle down over there.
But Mega Man is in Monster Hunter.
It's not the same.
I actually think you might really like this game. And as much as you fight it, you fought Monster Hunter. How many games of mine did you fight? And then you're like, actually, these are pretty good, I guess. Trust your man.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're going to be playing the most recent Mario+Rabbids game. There are 2 of them on the Switch. This is the second one. Though I do feel that this one is the better of the 2.
How am I going to Wait a second. You just got Tears of the Kingdom for
Yes, I did.
Father's Day. How in the hell am I going to get to play this on the Switch? You did not think this through.
I did think this through because I have to work some grave shift for a while. So
okay.
guess who's not going to be here to get in your way of the Switch? This guy. Unfortunately, as much as I want to be in your way. But yeah, we got a temporary deal that it works out very well. Because I was actually alternating between this game and a Gears of War tactics game.
Oh.
And I think this one is a little bit easier to dip into and understand the basic of how these tactic games like this work.
Why do I need it? Apparently, it's just like Heroes of Might and Magic. Yeah.
There's certain things
Eat
in
those
it.
words.
Because I would say it's very much like the XCOM series, if people have played that. A very fun turn-based strategy game. And the Gears Tactics is also like that. But let's keep rolling the show.
I'm just being sassy.
Yeah, she's being sassy and getting me fired up. So like I said, it was developed and published by Ubisoft, specifically the Ubisoft Milan and Ubisoft Paris divisions, because they have shops all over the world pretty much.
Fancy.
Yep. They released this game October of 2022, and it is a Switch exclusive, only out on Switch.
Okay.
It's sitting at a Metacritic score of 86.
That's pretty high.
Yeah, I wasn't lying when I said this game's pretty good.
Okay.
And on a side note, right here, it's going to feed into your, hey, I'm just going to skip the cutscene and play into the battles, because the battles are really fun. The story is like, but it's a Mario game. Like, the story is not always great. So you don't have to feel bad about skipping the story and feeling like you're missing important information.
I never do.
Except when you go, Matt, what do I do? And I go, hey, did you listen to when they said that? No. Yeah, go here. Good thing I played this game before you.
Why I need you.
That's why I picked this game, for when I'm not around. Oh my goodness. You know, I heard I know this is, I'm getting sidetracked, but someone said, you know what would be funny is you make a game and you can absolutely skip every cutscene and like skip all the dialogue. But if you do, your character will actually not be interested in what those people are saying, so you won't take the information in. So if you sit and actually listen to a person tell you, hey, I need you to go over here to fight these people, your mini map will have like, hey, this is the way you go.
Yep.
Dot. But if you skip too soon, you won't know where to go because your guide didn't pay attention. Literally forcing you to actually be a real person in a video game to actually know where you have to go, or hope you have a buddy who actually listens.
Yeah, but you know, when you replay it, if it's a game you love and you're going to replay it, you got to do that every time. Oof.
Yeah, that's
that.
true.
There's a reason why we can skip cutscenes.
Well, some games aren't as replayable as others. But we'll move back to Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Sparks of Hope.
This game was nominated for Game of the Year, Best Family Game, and Best Sim Strategy Game. So for the Game Awards in 2022, we watched that one together.
A little bit, right?
Yep. So it was nominated for Best Family Game.
That's the one where
What?
that one game just took like every win.
I think God of War Ragnarok was getting like everything. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, Elden Ring is so good, folks. It's still so good.
There wasn't really a lot of exciting surprises.
So this game won the Best Sim Strategy Game for the Game Awards, and it lost Best Family Game to Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, which is a really fun Kirby game.
Yeah, that one's pretty cute, and that's a pretty dang good family game.
Yeah.
It's hard to...
And then the annual DICE Awards, it did win Family Game of the Year in 2023. I don't know what month that one goes, but it's like really early in the year pretty much. Oh. But yeah, it got nominated for a bunch of good family games. Like, it's a game you can play with your kids, around your kids, no problem, right? Not necessarily Elden Ring and God of War.
Right.
Though Elden Ring, you could probably swing it a little bit, but it does get awful creepy sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. This game scored really well. People really liked it that played it, but it didn't really do very well financially. It didn't sell as well as it should have. And the CEO of Ubisoft actually recently just talked about maybe we released this game too early. Nintendo had actually advised Ubisoft to only develop one installment per console. And the CEO thought that was part of the reason for the poor sales. And now that I think about it, Nintendo really does that. They only make one big Mario game, one 2D Mario game per console cycle, like a new one.
Oh, I got you.
Only
okay.
like they've been like they re-released Mario Kart 8 for the Switch, right?
Yes.
Everyone's like, where's one Mario Kart 9 happening? But they've been focusing on adding stuff to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like there's a whole bunch of courses that they've added and new characters and stuff. So like if
they're gonna wait until they have
a new
next
console.
new console to make Mario Kart 9.
Just make the one really good one that'll last that console cycle. And they really kind of follow that pattern very well. I think with Zelda is probably one of the few ones they've ever released another version.
But Breath of the Wild was on the
Wii U. That's when it was originally made for the Wii U.
Right on the crossover.
Yep. Because I think, if I think about it, Skyward Sword was before Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
And that was a Wii. So there wasn't like, I think they're treating that one as a Wii release, even though they released it for the Switch and the Wii. You know, and like it kind of makes sense. Make one real good one for the console cycle, and then you can hey, then people are so pumped for the next one, and they will have to buy your console to get that good game. You know, they kind of have a monopoly on their IPs, but I mean, they own it. That's how it works, I guess. What do you do? The Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope has 3 different DLCs planned. The second one just released this month. So it gives you like a little more adventure, some new bosses to fight, new character. And they have one more coming out this year, and Rayman is actually going to be part of that adventure for the last one. You get to play as Rayman, which I thought was pretty interesting. It's kind of cool to see them like, hey, we released this game for the next year. We're going to have some new stuff. So those people who got it, really enjoyed it, get to have some more enjoyment out of it. Because like people who love these kinds of games keep coming back to them, right?
Yeah.
And
this is the kind of game that you just keep coming back
to and
if you like it. Yeah.
And I like the fact that even though we know it didn't sell very well, like they could have just pulled out and been done, but they kept to their word, and they're still adding all this DLC for people to play.
Right.
And it'll go on sale. More people will buy it. It's not as good as everybody buying it when it first comes out, but I
know that they want those numbers, but at the same time, the benefit of like having a game like this where you do follow through and keep adding stuff, like over time, more and more people will slowly play it, and it will like get enjoyed, and people will go back to it. And
absolutely,
it's got that slow burn going on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's not always a bad thing. I understand they want big numbers on the first day, the first week, but that's not everything.
No, it's not.
I think fizzle out really fast.
I think making sure you put out a game that people are like, that was good, I played it. Like, I understand, like, especially when the first Mario+Rabbids game came out.
Yeah.
It was like, what the heck is this? It was like when Kingdom Hearts first came out, and people are like, we're mixing Disney and Final Fantasy. Look how that turned out. I love that series. It's a lot of fun. Like, I think 2 is my favorite, but still, like, I thought that was the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Like, who mixes these things? Like, and it worked out so well, and it's hard to believe how well it worked out. Like, and it is a lot of fun. Like, the story is so convoluted now, and I'm not getting into that any more than that. But this Mario+Rabbids game was a really good strategy sim action game, and it was a lot of fun to play. It's like I get to run around as Mario with guns, and it works. Like, it sounds crazy, right? So one of the big differences between these 2 Rabbid games is the original one had a grid-based system. It was all like squares.
Yes.
Right? And that works really well for strategy tactics games, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, like Heroes of Might and Magic has a square grid. Does it have a square grid on a flat field?
It does, but you got a whole army, and no.
We're going to come into the second half, and she's going to be like, okay, I kind of understand what you were saying. Anyways.
Heroes of Might and Magic is way more complicated.
Yes and no.
How dare
it's
you?
different. Anyways.
I don't even know how to totally play that to its full potential.
I don't know. You're pretty dang good at that game.
There's a lot of stuff.
So in this one, you just have like a move distance and like you can move freely in that area, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's more like, hey, I can move like 10 feet, 12 feet,
Yeah,
whatever.
I remember seeing our son play it.
Yeah, he's played the new one a
Because
little
like you
bit.
get Peach and other characters.
Yep,
and then the Rabbids look like Mario and
Yeah, so in like the original game when the Rabbids somehow got into the Mushroom Kingdom, some of them took on aspects of the main characters. So the first game had Peach, Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, and then you had the Rabbid counterparts of them wearing Rabbid costumes.
Mix them up, as our son would say.
Yeah. So in the second one, Yoshi's out on doing some of his own stuff, so he's not in this one. But you start out with Peach, Mario, Luigi, and their Rabbid counterparts. Mm-hmm. And each one of these characters has their own like abilities to them. Now, the first game, you had kind of 2 weapons you could pick from. In this one, they focus on you get 1 weapon and 1 special ability that your character can do. Mm-hmm. And this is where they added a lot of customization. So there are these creatures called sparks. They're like little lumas, those little luma stars with rabbit ears. And each one has like, there's a lightning one and a fire one and one with little like, shields around them and stuff like that. And each one of these sparks adds another active ability you can use in battle and a passive ability for the character equipped with it. So at first, I'm only far enough that I only get 1 spark per character, but you can switch them out whenever you want. Like, say you're fighting some ice enemies, equip that fire rabbit on someone with some good attack. You can turn their attacks into fire attack and it like just wreck shop, right? And you run into fire enemies. Well, you got a water one, switch that out. Like you can switch anything out before battle, your characters before battle, to really make sure that you have the best chance for that battle. So like I tend to use the people I like.
Yeah.
I tend to run Mario, Luigi, and Rabbid Peach. That's like my combo that I've been running, and that works pretty well for me. But like all the characters are pretty viable and work very well. And eventually you unlock 2 sparks per person. So then that opens up even more combat options, right? I think the one thing that bummed me out a little bit is weapon damage isn't tied to your like they have weapon skins in this game that change how they look.
Okay.
But there's not like, oh, I got a new weapon, it does more damage. It's as you upgrade the characters and level up, you can choose to put points into upgrading your basic weapon damage, or maybe upgrading how far your person can run on their turn, or adding more attacks or faster cooldowns on their abilities. And you can always refund that points and respend them, which is really nice. So like, hey, I only have 5 points right now, so I'm going to make my special only take 1 turn to cool down instead of 2 turns after I use it. And I'll bump my attack a little bit. And then later on, I got 10 points. Well, let's refund those 5. And now I can like get a really good ability, really upgrade it. So you can always go back and switch out. Like if it's not really working for you, well, get rid of those points, right?
Kind of interesting.
And the other interesting thing that this game does is while you're running around freely, you can run up to an enemy and you do have 1 dash attack. You can just like kick them, slide kick them, right? Which is kind of fun. So it's like once you use your main weapon, your character's locked to that location. They can't move anymore. So if you can run up to an enemy and smack them, then you can run over back, run behind cover and pop a couple shots at them. And so it's really about like, you kind of learn to optimize like, okay, what order do I use my characters in? Like for my Rabbid Peach, I have this attack buff that I can use on all my guys in a certain area. So right off the bat, use attack buff on Mario, Luigi, and my Rabbid Peach. And then I move them out to like just start wrecking shop, and like get Luigi up high. He's a sniper. Mario's running around dual pistols, so he can actually shoot 2 different enemies or 1 enemy twice. Their Peach has this they call it a boombrella.
Yeah.
And it's an umbrella with a cannon on top. And it does like, it has this big cone of damage that like it does less damage as it goes further, but you can hit so many enemies in this cone with just her basic attack. Which is wild. Like Peach is kind of a monster
in this game. Yeah, it sounds like it.
And it's fun to like mix and match and see what works. As you're running around like the map, you can get into battles that'll kind of force you to be like, hey, use these two characters to fight this battle, kind of force you to try them out. It is really interesting to see what works and what doesn't work, and like how these different characters work. Like there's a sword rabbid you get like just to this game. They call her Edge. She's all like black with green streaks in her hair, wears a leather jacket. This rabbid, running around with a sword. But one of her skill trees lets her get more dash attacks per turn. So I think she can get up to like 3 dash attacks. And that's incredibly useful. I can get close enough, dash, and then I can use my sword and like attack everything around me. It's really
cool.
See, I'm turning her. She's coming around.
No, but it doesn't. You settle down.
And then I did find out there's a Rosalina rabbid you get eventually.
Oh, really?
They don't have Rosalina, just the rabbid. But they added Bowser this game. Eventually you get Bowser with a big cannon. Apparently, well, you know how he is. When his army gets taken over, he never takes kindly to that, and he usually will join up with Mario to wreck shop. It's just really interesting the amount of customization you can do with the sparks, and you can upgrade the sparks so they're more useful. Like, so you get star bits, which was like from Super Mario Galaxy, and you just stuff them in those Luna's mouth and you feed them until you make them stronger. But they like the only limit is you can only level them up to a certain level until your main characters' levels go up to a certain level, but everybody levels up at the same rate. So even if they're not in battle, it's not like if you leave Edge behind all the time that she's going to become useless because she never levels up.
Oh, that's nice.
And I really appreciate that. That's really nice. One of the things I was doing is it costs money. You can pay money to just heal all your characters, right?
Okay.
Other than just buying mushrooms. So one thing I'll do is I'll use my 3 characters, and if they start getting low health, I'll switch them out with the other 3 characters and use them up. Because there are some random battles in these worlds that you can just like grind for some money or star bits, you know, just for fun. And then when they get low health, then it costs the same to heal everybody. So even if you only have one person low health, it's not worth wasting your coins just to heal him up, right?
Yeah.
And there's like abilities that like, hey, they heal a little bit after every battle. They heal a little bit when they level up. And that brings me to one more thing, the accessibility options in this game. You can change like the difficulty of the game, and you have so many options to customize. You can make enemies a little weaker and not take more damage. You can make it so that your characters heal up full after every battle or don't heal at all after battle. And even if like, so our son is good enough now, he doesn't need any of these accessibility options really, but there is an invulnerability mode that your characters won't take any damage from attacks. So if you have like a pretty young kid that's like, look, it's Rabbids, it's Mario, this looks super fun.
Yeah.
You can turn that on for them and they can just have fun with it. They don't have to worry about dying so much. So I appreciate that they put those options in there so you can tailor the experience to what you want. And I think that's a nice thing to have, like more than just difficulty settings, right?
Really plays into the family game.
Exactly. Like I really appreciate that approach to family games, especially because like if I'm playing a multiplayer game with a little kid, it's hard. Like some games you can kind of carry it, right?
Yeah.
But other games it's like, okay, they die and we got to start over. They die and we got to start over. But if you add in like those little features so little kids can get enjoyment out of it, like it's a good way to like sneak them into stuff if you want to share that with them, right? Oh,
where everybody has fun.
Yeah. I've only gotten to the second world in this game. You start out on a beach world, you move on to a snowy Iceland. That's where I am now. And like they're very nice about like easing new enemy types into it. So like you kind of slowly learn like, okay, this is what I watch out for. This is what I need to stop for. These guys counterattack me. Be careful.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that. They did really good. It's just kind of silly fun, but like the combat is good. Like you're just going to want to be like, I want to get back into a battle because that's where this game thrives for sure. You have any questions? Anything you're curious about?
Nope. I think I'll figure it out.
Where the hell's the Daisy Rabbid?
Yeah, which did make me think we did see a trailer for the new Mario game.
Super Mario Wonder.
And they have Daisy in there.
I thought that was really cool that they finally added Daisy.
I'm excited about that.
I saw that and I'm like, yes, Rose finally gets to play Daisy in a Mario game, like an actual platformer one.
Yes. A real game.
A real Mario game. Oh.
Thank you, Nintendo.
Yep, you finally did it.
Finally did it. It took you how many years, but you did it.
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, I really think there isn't much more to talk about this game without, like, I want to wait until see what you think and what you end up writing down. Or if you like it so much, you forget to write down stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I think you're going to like it.
You think so?
I really do.
It doesn't sound terrible. It just, I don't know. Like, I vaguely saw the first Mario+Rabbids game being played in this house, and I was like, meh, I don't have any desire to touch that with a 10-foot pole. So it's hard to be thrilled about this one. You're good at selling stuff and making it sound cool, but I know that now. So
I am good at it. But to add to my selling point, our friend up north, she
loves these games.
She finally she came up and like, have you ever heard about Mario+Rabbids? The first one. And I'm like, yeah, I own it. It's so good. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's really good.
Kind of funny. She has differing opinions about video games. We both like them. We both play, but we don't tend to go for the same kind of games. Mm-hmm. When we do, it's because we like different things about them. Like, I love Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon for forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
She would not touch Pokemon with a 10-foot pole, which really bummed me out because I really wanted somebody to play Sword and Shield with me.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, when the newest, the Violet and
Scarlet and Violet
came out, she bought that and was like balls deep in it. And I was like, why this one? This one's crap.
Yeah.
Come play Arceus with me or like Sword and Shield. I mean, oh man. But she enjoyed it, which is cool. Like, it got her into it. I don't know what brought that on though. Like,
I don't know.
I had tried before.
They do love Monster Hunter up there as well.
They do love
I got them into Monster Hunter before I got you into Monster Hunter.
That is our one good video game connection.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because what's the other one she plays? I think she likes Kingdom Hearts. I think like very different vibes between her and I. She plays Diablo with you and stuff like that.
Yeah, she likes Diablo. They played a lot of Diablo 3.
Oops, sorry.
Dropping a pen on the podcast. Rattle, rattle.
Yeah, so anyway, the point is using her as a selling point for this game gives you no extra points.
I tried. What's your rating? What's your actual rating and how excited you are?
I got like a 6 right now because you made Edge sound really cool. But that's it.
The Edgelord Rabbid. I love it.
My style.
Yeah. I mean, like it's. I will agree. That's the coolest looking rabbit I've seen, and I've seen a lot of rabbits because our son loved the TV show.
They are pretty funny though.
They're amusing. I'm not gonna lie, they are amusing. But we'll get out of the studio. We'll get you into some Mario+Rabbid shoes, and we'll shoot some fools.
I hope it's good.
Oh,
I'm nervous.
I'm so excited. Oh, man. Let's get out of here. We'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye-bye.
Hello. Welcome back. We've had some time firing off some pistols and boombrellas and all sorts of crazy stuff. And, Now
Luigi has a bow and arrow. Rabbid Mario just punches people.
Yeah, big old fists.
It's pretty wild.
It is a wild game, but wild in like, how can we just make it fun?
Wild in a Super Mario kind of way, really.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that does make sense.
It starts off like everybody's chilling at Princess Peach's castle. You know how every Mario game starts. Like, for some reason, that is the hangout spot when things are calm, which never is for very long.
Nope.
Because a giant galaxy manta ray crashes the party.
Hold on. I just need to break in for one moment. Do we get a game where it's like just Mario and them chilling? Like, we have to assume like there's a lot of peaceful days in between these cataclysmic world-ending events.
I don't know. Every Mario game starts off this way, so it makes you think like they finally accomplish something. They fix everything.
Everything's
they
perfect.
They go to Peach's castle, and immediately, like 5 minutes later, like they just get the party going. They all open up a beer, they got the music playing, and immediately something bad happens. Bowser shows up, a galaxy manta ray, and like every time, and Mario's just standing there like, well, I don't need to sleep.
Nope. I'm just going to keep going.
That's always the vibe I get, that it's always an immediate thing. But it would be interesting to just like make the most boring movie ever of them just like hanging out, lounging around by the pool.
Well, even when they go on vacation, that gets wrecked.
They had just enough time to leave, and then something bad happened, right?
All right. I'm sorry. I just had to point that out. Okay. I'll let you keep going talking about the game.
So immediately Mario and Rabbid Peach get the tutorial of like how to play. You use those two characters, and this game impressed me with how many characters that you get to play with for this type of game. You usually don't get to start off with so many, because you have, of course, Peach, Mario, and Luigi, and then you have Rabbid Peach, Rabbid Luigi, and Rabbid Mario. And the first area that you go to is Beacon Beach. And I liked that. And it's so typical, right? As far as I've gotten in this game, every world that I've gone to is just classic Mario. Beacon Beach, Pristine Peaks, the Snow World. And then I made it to Palette Prime, which is like a fall season land, which is very cute. But they make multiple jokes about pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh, of course they do.
Just making fun of us white girls in sweaters and drinking pumpkin spice lattes. Not that I do that, because I don't, but
you're kind of more of a coffee purist. You like you like barely enough cream in there, barely enough sugar, just above black.
I'm almost man enough to drink it black. So back to the tutorial. It's a good tutorial. It's kind of like you play as you learn. And it's pretty much like any Mario game tutorial. It spoon feeds it pretty well. It doesn't get overwhelming. I mean, this is a kid's game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because like I always think of Mario as kids games, but Mario games are always wildly hard at certain points. And this one is no exception. Like, this is a kid's game, and like you mentioned in the first half, you can change the difficulty at every battle if you want. You can ease it up or make it harder, which is an awesome feature. If you do have kids that are playing it and like they want to get through, you can adjust it lower for them and they can make it through.
Like I said, the accessibility features they have, like you can literally make it so weapon attacks don't damage your characters, so you can just have fun. Like if you want to go that extreme.
I mean, it's really cool how they do that, but if you're just playing the game like the regular normal way all the way through, it's kind of nuts how complicated and hard it gets. Not complicated, but hard.
Yeah, it feels like it's like you get a new type of enemy you have to think about. A new what's the word? Not event, like what do you call a thing on the map that changes how things work? I'm trying to think of the word for it, and I can't believe I'm spacing out. Like the wind mountains in the ice place that like blow stuff around. Like there's different things.
A new objective to do on the
new
battle.
Objectives, new interactive things in each map that can affect how you go about moving your characters around.
Like, it's not just battling for battling's sake, which is another thing about this game that surprised me and I actually really liked because it keeps it really fresh as you play through. You run into an enemy and it's not necessarily going to be destroy all enemies. Sometimes it's just make sure you last this many rounds.
Yep.
Sometimes it's reach this area all the way over here. Sometimes it is like a really interactive one, like you're saying, where you need to use bomb bombs to blow up a certain area to pass that battle. It's very puzzle game oriented, but also like, and I love Pokemon, right? But it's really refreshing and nice to play a game that isn't just battles all the time. Like, as much as I love doing that, even I get a little burnt out on it as I'm playing, because I do like to do it as much as possible to beef up. I love being overly beefed when I get to an area.
Beef curd.
I love it. But it does get old, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
when you are just trying to level up your Pokemon and you're just doing battle after battle after battle.
The grind, yeah.
I will say, like, Pokemon has gotten better about speeding up battles, which is great, or you can skip, like, the cool cutscenes during battles. That's helpful after a while. This one, there is, like, a fast speed that you can do in battles, but I gotta say, even fast speed seems really fucking slow to me sometimes, but I wish there was, like, a extra fast speed. Especially when you get a battle area that's pretty large with a lot of enemies on it.
Yeah.
It can really, a battle can take a while.
Yeah, enemies turn. And like they always speed through their turn pretty quick. Like they don't, but they want to let you see
not that
everything
quick.
that's going.
It's not that quick. It could be faster. So we start playing and you weren't here.
Yep.
And I was just kind of trying to go through it myself. And I'm like, it's a Mario game. I can figure it out. But there's actually a lot to this game and to playing because you have so many characters that you start with. They all have a skill tree. You get dark mess crystals
Yes.
that you can use to upgrade your skill tree. And I know you explained all this before, but like then here's your sparks and you can get star bits to feed your sparks to upgrade those. Like there's so many things to do and to like, what's the word? So many things to manage.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more depth than you expect.
Yes.
Yes.
So the first time I played, I felt like I wasn't really, well, and there's so many moves you can do in the battle.
Yep.
You know? And I was like, I feel like I'm getting it, but I'm not really getting it. And the second time I played, our son helped me.
Yep.
And he showed me like so many things that really connected the dots. And he's like, this does this, and you got to do this. And I'm like, ooh, okay. It all clicked. And I got it. And it is like you have so many action points. Each character has 2 action points per turn, but you like at the point I'm at now, I have like 4 or 5 different actions I can take in a turn with each character. And you start out with only using 2 in a battle, but then I got upgraded to using 3 characters in a battle, which is so fun. I loved that. I was like, oh yes, give me more people. And so, I mean, there's, like I was saying, like battles can really take a long time just because there is the puzzle element to it. There's going through and seeing like, what's the best move to make here? How far can I get this person to go or this person to go? Because you can use each other as a team jump to get one character further than the other. But like, there's so much, it really fed into that thing that I love that's in like Heroes of Might and Magic 5, like the strategy.
I said that
You
as a
did.
comparison, and you called me out in the first half, so I need to call you out right now because you got to admit I was right.
You were so right.
I'm sorry that was so loud, but I needed that validation.
I couldn't believe it because I found myself thinking that after like the first week. I was like, it's kind of like playing, it's giving me that same satisfaction that I get when I play Heroes. It's kind of wild because I really it's complicated enough that it gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that level of complication from a Mario and Rabbids game.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I was like, it's gonna be one of those boring RPGs, like what was that one? Dragon
Dragon Quest 11.
Thank you. I can't even remember it. I hated it so much. So sad.
Dragon Fighters 3.
Like, to me, that's very boring. But like Rabbids and Mario Sparks of Hope, I'm like, num 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 num.
Yeah,
I
eat
love
it up.
Yeah. I really like dug in, and I honestly would like to keep playing and go further and see what everything
I
is
honestly
like.
knew that it was clicking with you a little bit because, like we said, like you got me Tears of the Kingdom for Father's Day, and so I've been getting chances to play during the day, and I'll play Zelda, and then go to work, come home next day, I see Rabbids is in the cartridge slot. I'm like, oh, she's been playing it. That's how I know.
I've been doing my job.
Due diligence.
So when I got to the first big boss in Beacon Beach, I was surprised at the difficulty of it. And that's when you first get to control 3 teammates. Luckily, I had Rabbid Peach on my team, who is always on my team because she is the healer of the group, and I love Rabbid Peach. She's also just my favorite character in general because she makes me laugh. Like, she is so funny. She's always carrying around, like, her little pink cell phone with bunny ears
taking
on
selfies
it.
all the
Everything's about hearts and stuff, but she's like super sassy,
Yeah.
Like when an enemy targets her and is going to attack her, she's like, "Don't!"
Yeah. Don't do it.
And then when she shoots her little rocket gun, she's like, "Ha ha ha!" laughing at it. She cracks me up. I very much enjoy the character of Rabbid Peach.
Very amusing.
Yes.
Yep.
And heals. I love heals. Also, like, just the things that these characters upgrade. As an example, like Rabbid Peach on her skill tree, I can upgrade it so that every time she does do a team jump and then lands, when she lands next to her teammates and even herself, she heals a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can keep upgrading that skill to do more and more healing. I love it. The skill trees on this game are awesome. They're really, really fun.
Nothing you do or upgrade feels like
It's all
a
useful.
wasted point. Yeah. It all depends on how you want to play, and there's some really interesting things you can go. But I mean, if you want to just simply make your weapon attack more powerful, you can do that, and that'll be viable for you. But
if you want your buff stuff more powerful, you can do that. And once I realized you can't upgrade everything. You have to pick and choose like how you want to play with that character. It was a little bit like, because I love being beefy, but at the same time, I'm glad they did it that way because it is better to play that way, to make choices, to have to sacrifice something because it makes it more interesting and makes you want to play it again and try the other way next time, right?
well, you can respec.
You can, but I'm not going to do that.
I'm not that style either, but I generally
I like to lock in and then
I think about what I want so hard. I'm like, this is what I want. And unless like I pick something and I really hate it, I'm not going to switch
right.
it.
Yeah, I'd have to really hate it. So you had mentioned before, like the first character you get to unlock is Edge, who's pretty cool. She's a pretty alternative looking rabbit, right up my alley, and she's got this big sword.
Yeah, huge sword.
I really enjoy using her as well. Her sword attack can hit multiple enemies if they're lined up, which is very helpful. But she has that Fortify Spark to help give extra defense for a turn for her and teammates that are close enough in the range. But then I also unlocked a Spark that makes me unseen for 2 turns.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I like to use that on her because then I shove her out like right in the middle in between a ton of enemies, try to get some in a line, go unseen where they can't attack me for 2 turns because they can't see me, and I just wail on everybody. It's so satisfying.
You're playing a freaking stealth rogue assassin with
right?
her. That's really cool. I like that.
I think that's like the second part about this game that makes it so fun was like I thought you were gonna get some sparks, but oh my god, you get so many sparks. I have so many sparks and I'm like 30% through the game, like 35%. Like I'm a third of the way done and I have so many sparks. You have your classic elemental sparks, right? Fire, water, electricity, but then you get wind sparks and then you get like regenesis sparks. You get toxic ooze sparks. There's so many different kinds. Mario has his turbo spark that ups your attack for a turn. mixing and matching those with characters to do certain things that you want to do, like how I have Edge set up to play, and it's so fun. It really makes it creative, and I mean, you just can get so customized and locked in. I can't even talk.
I know.
I don't know how to explain how cool it is, because it is really, really cool.
Well, that's the depth to the game I was talking about. Like, it really gives you a lot of options to like mix
play
and match
how you
things.
Play.
Because each rabbit's gonna have their own type of weapon and their own main skill, and then you add those sparks in, and then it, like, you wouldn't think it would open up as many avenues for changing how you play, but it really does.
It really can.
Yeah, and then you add in like how many characters you eventually get. I mean, you start off with what, 6 of them when you finally get most of the beginning ones, and it's like there's so many options for play. It's insane. It really is crazy. I liked to do Mario, Luigi, Rabbid Peach, and when I would use the elemental attack spark, usually it would cause a bounce effect. So I do Overwatch with like Luigi or Mario. And then the other one, I would do an elemental attack that would cause a bounce on like a big tough enemy. It'd hit them, they'd bounce up in the air, it would activate the Overwatch, then they'd get shot by Mario too.
Yes.
And like you can combo all these skills together, and like you just wreck shop, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna hide for a couple turns, build everything back up, and let's rinse and repeat and just run through.
So with me running Mario, Edge, and Rabbid Peach most of the time, Mario can turbo their attack for a turn. Edge is going to fortify them and make their defense higher, and then I have Rabbid Peach to heal them if they need healed. And like I said, I have Edge with a spark that makes her unseen. Rabbid Peach, I have a spark, the reflector spark, that reflects damage.
Oh yeah, that's on my Luigi. Yeah.
Yes, I love that too. Like, it gives me 2 characters that I can really put out on the front lines, because Mario with his dual pistols is good at like hanging around in the background and sniping people, especially with that target attack that he has.
The Overwatch thing they do, yeah.
So I mean, it's just, and then like you were saying, Luigi's useful too, because he has a long range bow weapon, and then he has the Overwatch skill as well. So it's just,
eventually you can set his Overwatch to shoot through cover.
Really?
Yeah. So like if it's half cover, it'll guarantee a hit, and like he is literally epitome of sniper. Like, he's gonna hit people, and that's what I love about it. And I'm a Luigi stan already.
A Luigi fan.
Yeah, he's the man.
You know, I realized I've played every character except for Rabbid Luigi.
See, Rabbid Luigi's really interesting. He has kind of a weapon that can bounce between enemies, and he causes debuffs. So he's good at weakening and softening up the enemy. So, and here's the thing. I play a lot of RPG type games, and I tend to not gravitate towards debuff characters or using debuffs unless I'm like grinding a certain strong enemy I know I need it for. I don't gravitate towards that, even though it's exceptionally useful if used right.
I feel like that's one of those things where if you're going to have him on your team, you're going to take Rabbid Peach off. Like, it only feels like there's room for one support like that.
Yeah, yep.
I would say, especially where I'm at now, usually battles have so many enemies on them. They're hard enough at this point that it'd be hard to have 2 support characters and only 1 heavy hitter.
Yeah, a buff and a debuff and 1 heavy hitter doesn't feel like enough, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that.
But Rabbid Mario's pretty fun. He goes up and punches people, like I said. The only thing, it's such close range, and I don't really like doing that. If I was going to use him, I would probably put the unseen spark on him, just so that you're not getting totally annihilated when you get close enough to enemies to actually hit them with him. And then Peach is fun because she does have her boombrella, and I actually got the steampunk skin for it.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So she just shoots her umbrella like a cannon at multiple enemies.
Yeah, hits everybody.
That is super helpful. Like, I do like her weapon and her skill set, but I like Rabbid Peach a little bit more. I just like that sassiness.
Peach is really exceptional when you're coming across like a lot of smaller, weaker enemies.
Yeah.
Because she can just clear the board, right?
Sure.
So that's when she really shines for me. Otherwise, it's like she just, I don't know. I didn't like her quite as much.
It's useful in the right context.
Exactly. That's kind of what I felt like.
Kind of like Rabbid Mario. It's useful in the right context.
Yeah.
Really.
Yep. So you unlocked the ability to use 2 sparks per character then?
Yes, I did.
That happens in the snow region?
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. I haven't, you're farther than me. You're the expert now.
Yes, it's
You're the master
I
now.
am the master. You didn't get very far in this game.
It's hard. When I first got it, I was playing it, and then our son was playing it. Yeah, and so he was playing it all the time. And then this thing happens when he's interested in a game that I am too, that he'll be playing, and then he'll ask me to help him do stuff, and then I help him, and then I'm also playing the game that way, and then it kind of makes me lose interest in playing my game because I'm helping him so much.
Bummer.
Yeah, he's not as bad about it now because he really likes to do everything on his own if he can. But that's kind of what happened with this one. I just ended up helping him, and then.
Well, he was super helpful with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have understood everything as clearly as
that worked out.
Maybe eventually, but it would have been more of a struggle. He was just a little champ, and I think it made him feel good to be like helping me out.
Yeah, yeah.
I did unlock Rabbid Rosalina in the Pristine Peaks. Ooh. And I didn't know I was going to get Rabbid Rosalina. And everybody knows Rosalina, right? She's just space princess.
Floating around.
Yeah, it's like Peach, but space.
Yeah.
And then you get Rabbid Rosalina, who's like slumped over and is like, I guess I'll come with you guys. She is so apathetic, and it's amazing. Like,
I love it.
Her skills and everything are just, she's got a gun that will take multiple low damage shots. Like, everything about her is like the most minimal effort possible. She does have a cool ability called Ennui, which keeps an enemy from attacking you for a turn. So if you have like a big, strong enemy that you need to like, hey, you calm down for a turn.
Pause for a second.
That is very helpful. But yeah, overall, for having so many characters, there's a huge variety in them. There's a huge variety in the sparks. It's not as boring as what you would expect it to be. And I was just very impressed with that overall. It really, really surprised me.
And so I did want to bring this up because we talked about it a little bit, you know, off the air. And how did you feel about, because we've been talking about the battle system a lot, and that's like definitely the star of this game, right?
Yes. Well, okay. I know what you're talking about, because we did. The last thing about battling that I do want to say, when I unlocked Rabbid Rosalina on Pristine Peaks, that boss battle was a 3-wave boss battle.
Oh, really? Yep.
I was like, holy shit. I thought this game was for kids. This is a 3-wave boss battle.
Yep.
And I mean, like, you defeat her, do it again immediately with no in between.
My second form.
You defeat her again, do it a third time.
Oh, my
with
goodness.
No rest in between.
Yep.
And like, I did it first time, got through it, because I do like to grind and level up. But like, I've been saying, there's part of me that's like, I thought this was a kid's game. Little kids do 3-wave boss battles now?
Yeah.
10-year-old me would not have
played
it.
Mario+Rabbids, both games fall into this interesting middle ground where it's fun for kids to watch. It's an interesting game with more depth than you would expect for us adults. And it can really, like, you can play it without worrying. It's like, it's not Mortal Kombat. It's not like all these games that are going to be rough. You're not going to play around your kids. But this one you can play and you're fine, and it's fun, and everybody kind of gets a chuckle out of it.
I gotta say, like, Mario games, and this one is a shining star example to me. This is a family game, and it's wonderful and awesome. I mean, I really, really appreciate that Nintendo makes stuff like this, because it is a family game for everybody to enjoy.
Well, Ubisoft made this one. Remember?
It's Mario.
Yes, it is.
It's Nintendo and Ubisoft, right?
Nintendo published it, but Ubisoft's the one who made it. They made it.
That's fine, but it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know that Nintendo allowed this to happen, and like I still think about how wild was the pitch for this game.
So you just want to give credit to it being such a fun game to Ubisoft. That's really where you're.
That's the thing.
I can understand that.
The IP is definitely Mario, though Rabbids is technically Ubisoft, but like I just want to give Ubisoft a shout out to that they made this really fun, interesting game that who would have thought it would have happened.
Yeah, you're right. I get it. Good point to bring up. Thank you, Ubisoft, for this wonderful family game.
And thank you, Nintendo, for allowing it to happen. Because we know how tight you hold on your stuff. Yeah. And I don't blame you. I get it. Like, but every so often, another company you make something of yours, and it comes out like just gold. I think Capcom made one of the Zelda games for the Game Boy Advance. Still one of my favorite Zelda games. Amazing and so true to Zelda. Like,
so you were gonna bring up what we were talking about.
Yes.
Like a couple nights ago. I love the battling system. Obviously, I've been talking about it for like 20 minutes now.
Yep.
The other part of this game is running around doing things. There's little puzzles you got to explore.
Yeah.
That
puzzles.
Part of the game. Well, what do you mean? Like too easy or
grab? It's like a sorting block thing, and put it in the triangle hole. It goes in the square hole. Like there are a couple puzzles that like take a second to figure out, but it's mostly more about like, okay, where do I find the piece that fits here, or where do I find the way to get around this?
Okay, well, did you come across the riddles in each land? There's a riddle in each area.
I have not come across a riddle.
This is why you think all the puzzles are easy.
Okay.
There is a riddle in each area that is super fucking hard.
Oh, yeah?
I'm bad at riddles, but like they give you hints in like a poem, usually.
Yeah.
There's like a professor. I didn't actually figure out the first one. The second one I did. The third one I just did. But it'll be something like the one in Palette Prime is a big clock, but in the north, south, east, west area, there is a sunrise, a midday sun, or a sunrise, a sun setting, a full moon, and a crescent moon.
Okay.
And then there's 5 medallions with different animals on them. He reads a poem, and you're supposed to put the right medallions in the right spot. And actually, I'm going to look this up right now because it's so wild. Give me a sec. The riddle sounds like this. The day began with a wooden bell. The silence broke as the lake's song did swell. The red thief arrived at dusk, looking for a trinket to pawn. Night came, the guardian did the same. While guarding the forest, my sleep it would claim. Now, you have a medallion of a fish, a swan, a seahorse, which it's very, very hard to tell that is a seahorse. I actually did not know what that was.
Yep.
An owl, and there's a hedgehog. So figure out where the swan, the owl, the seahorse, and the hedgehog.
That was a lot more intense of a riddle than I expected. I'm not going to lie.
The day began with a wooden bell. The silence broke as the lake's song did swell. The red thief arrived at dusk, looking for a trinket to pawn. Night came, the guardian did the same. While guarding the forest, my sleep it would claim. What animal goes where? I know I'm bad at riddles, but I like read this and I'm like, what in the hell do they want from me here? This is
interesting.
It's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, that's more than I expected. I'm not gonna lie.
So the sunrise one is the swan. I'm gonna give cheats here.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Sunrise is the swan. The sun setting is the fish. The owl goes to the full moon, and the seahorse goes at the bottom for the crescent moon. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. I hope I said that in the right order. If I didn't switch two around, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's just wild though. Like those riddles are actually very hard. Like I said, the first one I didn't even figure out, and I just left it. But it's how you get a coin for that area, because you can collect so many coins in each area.
Yeah, they have like the specific area coins you can use to
buy stuff.
Yeah, buy the weapon skins in the area, or
there's
open the special door. Every area's got its own special door.
Right. You get a key for it.
Yep.
Which I haven't done that either. So
really?
I got to go back and do that because I'm pretty sure I can afford it. Because I didn't move on until I really tried to clear out the area like all the way if I could.
Yep.
I love playing like that, and like I said, I love leveling up. The only bad part is you do get level capped.
Oh, really?
Your sparks get level capped.
Oh, well, yeah, to your character levels, right?
I don't like that.
I want to keep leveling
I want
you
to
up.
get beefy.
Yeah.
It's like Pokemon. Like, I'm going to get this guy to level 100 as soon as possible, and you can't do anything about it. I love that. Nope, not here. But it's fine. You're still pretty beefy.
It is what it is.
You're still pretty beefy.
Oh.
But yeah, so there are some complicated puzzles. Like as a kid, there's no way in hell I'd figure that out. I'd spend like an hour just slapping things in.
Yeah, right.
So there are some complicated stuff. A lot of it is easier, like you said, but I guess just running around, it's more, you know what bothered me? I had to think about it. What bothered me was the controls there. I hate the controls, the way they feel. It feels very slow and unreactive to when I'm pressing buttons to do things. And that really, really frustrates me. And I'm not a Twitch player. Like, I'm not good at that, but I'm not bad at it either. Mm-hmm. And when I feel like I'm too fast for the game, I'm like, oh my gosh. And again, that's the thought of, this is for kids. This is a kid's game.
Well, I think of it like this. It's the focus of the game is the battles. Like, that's the real main point of the game. The outside of that is just an excuse to walk around the area. Mm-hmm. I think there's this disconnect when you're playing a Mario game and like you're so used to Mario platforming and how it should feel, right? We've all played Mario 64 and Sunshine and like Odyssey, right?
That's true.
And you're like, this is how Mario should move in the world. And when he doesn't move like that, when you can't just triple jump your way up to some platform, you're like, this is wrong. This doesn't feel right.
The smallest ledge, you are stuck.
Yeah. And that I get it. It's different types of games, but like I said, seeing Mario move around like that just feels bad.
That brings up, that's a good point to bring up because in this day and age, I'm sorry, I played Pokemon Arceus. I want my RPG with unlimited exploring where I can go anywhere I want to.
Yeah.
In normal RPGs like this style and the Dungeon Dragon thing, whatever that was, what was it? Dragon Quest? What? I can't remember that game.
Dragon Quest.
Okay.
I love how you call it Dungeons and Dragons every time.
It's not nearly that cool, actually. Dungeons and Dragons is way cooler. Like those are very limited exploring, very limited movement. And that does suck. It feels bad, doesn't it? And that's kind of why I didn't used to like those games in the first place. You're right.
Yeah, like I said, it all just depends on what kind of game I'm playing, what they're trying to get across, and what the main thing is. Like I said, the exploring and wandering around part of this Mario+Rabbids game is like good enough. Like that's what it feels like, good enough. But the battle and the depth to the character, like customization with the sparks, is so good that like
you'll put up with it.
Yeah, that's like, I'm just excited to get to the next battle, which is really good because sometimes you play games in this vein and then you stop being excited to get into battles because like it isn't balanced right. And
or it's too repetitive.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, you got to help me out here. And there's been a lot of improvements over the years I've seen to make that feel better or make it not like it's grindy unless you want it to be grindy.
Yes.
And I appreciate all those things, but you don't have to worry about this game. Like I haven't had a point where it's like, I don't want to get into a battle. Not once.
I mean, really, that's the biggest thing that I took away from this game was that with all of the things you can do, it's so advanced and such a beautiful way to do an RPG in the battle system. They keep it so fresh with having different objectives in the battles, with having different sparks that you can use. Even with the way, like, you get into battle and you can take a second and switch out what sparks you have or characters in the moment. Like, boom, right there. You're not locked into anything. If you get hit by an enemy and go into a battle, that you weren't prepared for, you can change the difficulty, your characters, your sparks, like right on the fly, and then then officially start the battle.
Yep.
And you're ready.
Always can be ready.
They did they did so many things right here to make an RPG fun for a lot of different people.
Yeah.
You know, and I do appreciate that because RPGs are really hit and miss with me.
Yes.
I either really love them or really hate them.
Like we all love leveling up, right? That's all. Like that's one of the best things about
to
RPGs.
Keep it from being boring,
Yeah,
like you were
yep.
saying. That's an achievement.
I'm
Done
glad
very well.
that I started you with this one, and I have.
What does that mean?
Well, there's other games that are kind of in this vein that is like a tactical RPG, I would call it. Like you
Okay.
And I'm interested to eventually try some other ones out on you and see how well these other ones hit, because it felt like these battles really hit for you, and Mario does it. This Mario+Rabbids does it real good.
Yes.
But it'll be interesting to see how other ones do when
Real
they
good.
change things out. So I'm excited that you enjoyed it. Like what would you rate it? I got to remember to do this. It gets to be so long between me asking this question.
Well, you know what else is funny is there's no Koopas in this game. What kind of Mario game is this that doesn't have Koopas in it?
Oh, well, all the enemies are rabbits all the time.
No, there's Goombas.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And Bob-Ombs. Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that. I didn't think about that.
Do you know how Koopas communicate?
How do Koopas communicate?
With a shell phone.
Of course. Gosh dang it.
I set that up
my
so good. I'm
goodness.
so proud of myself.
I didn't even realize what was happening till it was too late.
So hard to keep a straight face.
That was the best part. You did a good job.
High five.
High five. Good job. All right. So what would you rate this game
I
out of 10?
almost exploded.
After you got that sick burn joke on me.
I feel a little sick. I would give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I was leaning towards 7.5, but the more I play it, the more I'm enjoying it.
And you said you want to go back to it.
I don't want to stop playing it.
Yeah.
I would love to finish this game, which I say that about a lot of games, and then I don't get, like, I still haven't finished Pokemon Arceus. I still would really love to play some Monster Hunter. There's a lot of things I want to do.
Yeah.
But even that, oh no, I forgot the name of it.
Welcome to my life.
Oh no, the mining one you just had me do. I want to play that more too.
Oh, Dome Keeper?
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like Dome Keeper. And
Yeah.
I want to do like the biggest map and like have all the I want to
Take an hour.
Oh, an hour? Oh no,
An hour and a half.
Way more than an hour. I've already taken an hour on many. I am super thorough.
Oh.
There's a lot of fun things to do in this world.
Yeah, there is. And I think there isn't a better recommendation than I definitely want to go back and play this game. Like, and it's hard,
Yeah.
We always say, it's just the nature of what we're doing here that we end up falling off games and we don't get a chance to come back to it sometimes. But
So the battle system, of course, is chef's kiss perfection for me.
yep.
So that definitely deserves a lot of scoring there. Like I was saying, I think the biggest thing that bothered me was running around in the main world in between battles. The controls feel terrible. Sometimes you have like a red coin or a blue coin, like chase down. And when your characters move so awkwardly, it's very hard to go the way you want. And sometimes you run into each other because the people that you're using in each battle,
They're following you.
You're all running at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you try to do a quick turn, you can run into your teammate and your blue coins start blinking because they're going to leave. And then you panic.
Stress.
And you're trying, yeah.
Stress.
And there are fun like little mini games like scooping up cheeps and putting them in a pond or in a fountain.
Yep.
And, like, it is fun to explore. But yeah, it's mostly the controls there feel really icky to me. It's not terrible, but it's not great. But the battling system, which is what this game is all about, and the customization and all the sparks and feeding your sparks, those star bits.
Yeah,
is so
just
adorable.
shoving them full of sparks.
And they're just so happy. It's a very, very good game. It's a good family game. I love it. Good job, Ubisoft. Thank you, Nintendo.
Appreciate.
Thank you, Ubisoft.
You want to know who else we
You
appreciate?
did a good job.
Yeah. We appreciate you, our listener.
Yeah.
We thank you for tuning in, checking out, and yeah, we have, YouTube, TikTok. I do stream occasionally at random times,
there's
but
a new thing called Threads. Maybe we should jump on that.
oh
since
gosh, yeah.
Twitter's burning down.
Yeah, Twitter's burning down. I'm going to be honest. I don't mess with my Twitter very much.
It feels icky going from Elon Musk to Mark Zuckerberg. It's like,
oh yeah, that does feel bad. I don't like that.
It does feel bad. We'll just be here on Spotify, everybody.
Anyways, yeah, just please leave a comment, leave a like, a favorite, suggestions
Share
for
it.
games you might like Rose to play. I have a big list, but if you guys think something would be very funny or very interesting to see Rose try, happy to suggest those and throw them in the mix.
Thank you, Ray, for our caricatures.
Thank you. Gosh, it's been so long since I've done this.
Thank you for the music.
Thank you. And
That's it.
that's it. We're the end. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
This has been Co-ople Mode. You keep gaming with your bestie. Wop wop!